Hey, everybody. Just turning off the light. Welcome. Hi, guys. Wanted to jump on for a live tonight, like I talked about this morning. So welcome. I am Kari the Mortician, and this is Coffee with Kari. When it's in the evening, there's not so much coffee. Sometimes there's beer or wine or some other drink happening. But this week, we're just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. So hello, everybody. Hey, I'm Josie, David, and Anya, and Catherine. Decided to throw on for this one look at this shirt, guys. I had forgotten I had this. Nacho Average Funeral Director. Seriously, who doesn't love nachos and tacos? It's always taco day, whether it's Taco Tuesday or not Taco Tuesday. Are you guys a beef or chicken sort of people in your tacos? I don't know why I'm talking about tacos. I mean, because it's the nacho shirt. But hello, everybody. James, yeah, thanks for checking in. This morning I had posted my challenge for the day, trying to get 1,000 subscribers in 24 hours. It's not really happening, but if you guys want to help, you're welcome to jump in. For every 100 new subscribers, I'm going to give away a coffee mug to anybody who shares my page. Don't share just the video. Share my page. And that way people can go and just click subscribe. So trying to see in a 24-hour period how many subscribers I can get. We'll see. I don't know. I like competition and challenges. Who knows? It's just funsies to do. Funsies to do. Teresa, great question, since that's the question on the main page. How do you deal with rotten bodies, the smell? So especially if we're going to have a viewing and someone's been decomposed for a little while and we're still embalming and doing that viewing because we're able to, we might still have a little funk, a little smell going on. And that decomposition smell sticks. And it sticks with you and it's strong. And once you've smelled it, you don't forget it, but you can't explain it. It's just strong. Hey, Nicole, thank you. Bean and cheese nachos. You guys are funny. Nan, so if you go to my main Facebook or my main YouTube, like the beginning page, you can just copy the link and paste it somewhere else. So hopefully that helps. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Royce. Hi, boys. I know you said, Elizabeth, I think that you were mailing me something. I haven't got to my post office box since I moved. I need to get a new box. Oh my God. Andrew is trying these little twins, guys. I'm obsessed. Here you go, Andrew. Can you blow it out? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look at buddy. Oh my gosh, love them. So I know I've lost my mind. But dealing with stink. So when someone is smelly, we can combat by stopping the decomposition kind of where it's at, by preserving, getting in the tissue and stopping that. However, we may be left with that smell. Putting the person in plastic undergarments and putting special powders and smelling absorbers in with the person. Some people use kitty litter. Kitty litter absorbs funky smells. If you put that in the base of the casket, that'll absorb up the smell. Some people use coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are a great neutralizer for smell. There are also a lot of products that are on the funeral business kind of level where there's a cherry flavored one, not flavored. It's not like we're eating it, a cherry scented one. And that does a really heck of a good job. So there's different tips and tricks to different things that you can do. Hey, clever username. How long does a person have to dead and decompose so bad? The only alternative of cremation. There's no way to tell, Melissa. So you could have somebody that's been dead a week and you could still do a viewing. You could have somebody that's been dead for 5 hours and they are really getting nasty. It's so situational, honest to goodness, because people are decomposing before they die now. Sometimes you may get somebody that has just died and their abdomen is already green, which is the first kind of visual sign that someone's decomposing. And it can be instant because the person's has been kept alive sort of, and parts of them are dying. You don't just always die all at once. Parts of you shut down and parts of you break down and parts of you die before the rest of you sometimes. So how do you deal with the smell? I just breathe through my mouth. I mean, if it's that bad, there are people that do Vicks under their nose, or they may use essential oil like peppermint or lavender under their nose. I've never used any of that stuff. I just breathe through my mouth and get through it. So it does gag you. And it's not because you have a weak stomach. It's not anything to do with you. It is just a supernatural body reaction to decomposition, is a gag reflex. So sometimes that happens. I've never thrown up from it though, but a respirator helps. Aaron, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to cover the Gabby case. There's not a lot. She was strangled. I've covered strangulation, hanging, asphyxiation, and things in a bunch of videos. So I don't know that there's much new with her case. I know it's a huge profile case right now. I don't know if there's anything new though for me to cover with it really. So we'll see. Tracy, thanks for sharing. You're a police officer and you use Vicks. Yeah, it only does so much. Those fat particles come in. I know, honey girl. Just lay down for a couple minutes.
No, I cannot eat.
Okay. Give me just a second. Okay. We're having a crisis mode with children. So give me a second. Okay. Go right down. I'll be right out.
I don't want to eat.
You don't have to eat. Sorry, guys. Kids, mom comes first, right? Even if I'm a not too average funeral director. JW, the Sharon Tate case. Yeah, that does touch on the deceased being pregnant when they die. So that may be something to definitely touch on. The Black Dahlia as well, more of like a decapitation case. Do you ever get a body with missing organs? No, we have not. Teresa, how do you eat lunch after embalming? It doesn't bother me. I'm hungry after. It's hard work. I eat a lot when I'm get done with that kind of stuff. So it doesn't really affect the food intake. Have I ever been involved in an exhumation? Not a exhumation with the law involved, where you are bringing somebody up for a court case or something. I've not been involved in that. Thank you, Jenny. Thanks for the respect and the shout out. No, Aunt Josie, she's not feeling well. So she has an ear infection. We went to the doctor and she's on medicine and it hit really fast. We've all had like a cold, but she all of a sudden, she's got a little ear infection. So she's on the struggle bus, but she'll be okay. Thank you though. Some other questions. People asking about, can ashes be buried or cremated remains be buried on a lot? And we just did a great 2-minute on that on a 2-minute on how many people can be buried on a lot. Mausoleums, do they have drains in them? Do they have holes? So there's ventilation, there's circulation. There's not like a drain where, okay, if the top person leaks, then it runs to the next one. And then if they both leak, they run down. It's not like this trickle effect. It makes me think of that marble game back in the day where you put them all and then you dropped all the marbles and they went. That's not how it's like in the mausoleum. Like there's juices flowing everywhere and they just have to go in the appropriate things. You have holes for ventilation to hopefully get airflow and circulation through and up. Is there any way for a stranger being buried on of another without loved one family knowledge? I don't know how somebody would be buried unless you were leasing the grave space and you didn't pay your lease and then it became fair game and they don't have to tell you who's buried there. I work in a pet crematorium in Minnesota. I was wondering if you know a company closer to me than Florida that does repairs on the machines. Ooh, had one of my floors cave in today. I do not, Tony, know crematory repair companies. You would think there's got to be one near you, not just in Florida. Did you call the manufacturer to find out what they say? I would start there. Thank you, Hot Rod. Hawaii guy. So Hawaii guy saying he saw a few videos from J.W. Williams Funeral Home in Georgia. I noticed when they close the casket, they actually cover the face. Is this normal? I have heard this from several people that the funeral homes will take a cloth and put it over the face of the deceased before they close the casket. In front of families, not in front of families, just what they do. I don't know why they do that. I've never seen that. I don't know anybody who does it personally. So I'd like to find out. So if you know a funeral director that does that, have them email me and tell me why. Why do you do that? I would like to know maybe what the rationale is of it. If someone has cancer and large tumors on face, neck, lips, can you remove them to close mouth or just cosmetics and clothing? Yes. We would need the family's permission to remove or excise part of the deceased. But I know many stories where large tumors or gangrenous tumors and things have been cut out and then restoration happening, like when part of the neck, chin, mouth, different areas have been eaten away by cancer. The cancerous areas are cut out and then waxed and restored. So some pretty amazing things have been done. Jenny, yes, Caitlin and I have a couple of videos on my channel together, which were so fun to shoot. I've really enjoyed working with her on different things and getting kind of a vibe for who she is and what she does. Do you embalm coworkers? I have had a coworker die, but yeah, I've embalmed family members. I have not personally done a coworker though. Hey, Christine and Kazoo. I think it's so fun because you're like 10 minutes from me. That's amazing. Melissa Thompson. Maybe it's the night of Melissa Thompsons. I have a couple people that have the same name that are on the channel, and sometimes I get confused because of how they talk is different, but then I realize their little logo button is a different color. My father's a funeral director, and he says it's to keep the makeup on the face from possibly getting on the lid. That to me makes sense if it's not the last time you're closing. But if it's the last time you're closing the casket, it wouldn't matter. So that's why I don't know why the last time it would really matter. How long does the gel last? The gel they use to plump the face up. It's in there kind of for however long. It reacts to moisture and plumps and fills at that moisture. Hello in the UK. Quite a few UK people right now. It is pretty late in UK, 9, 10 o'clock. Or no, more like 11 o'clock there, I guess. As per, what is a burping casket and how often do they burp? I'm missing that question. I didn't see a burping casket question. Caskets aren't like Tupperware, where when you pop the edge, it burps. There's no edge to pop on a casket. So I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, if there's something specific. Hey, Trevor. Well, Bob, the body can purge at any time, whether the legs are up or not, but you definitely want to keep the head above the torso. We get into a predicament when someone is maybe barrel chested, or if a person is heavier, that the torso gets larger than where the head plane would lay if your person's on a flat plane. And so the torso's up and pushes pressure to the head. So you want to get that head up so it's the highest point. So gravity is not going to allow purge to come out unless you have pressure behind it. So it kind of cuts back. Hello, yeah, 1 a.m. in Moscow. That's amazing. Yeah, Leo, thank you. Make sure you're all subscribed. Click subscribe. Have I ever had a paranormal experience? Yes, I have had a few unexplained experiences. I have a video on one, so go to the channel and type in paranormal experience. How often in your career have you been present in an exhumation? How common is it? It's not common. That means it's a court case. That means it's a legally sanctioned bringing up of a body. It's not very often. My brother's mother-in-law passed away on Monday. I'm going to be a pallbearer for the first time in my life. I'm a little nervous. You got this. It's kind of a hard, awkward position to carry somebody no matter how strong you are. But you got this, Dennis. She'll do great. Can you be cremated without a wake? Of course. You can be cremated without anything. Hey, in Guam, Lucy. Have you ever had a family member try to hug the body in the casket by lifting it? Oh, yeah. Trying to hold them, get them close, all sorts of things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like they're going to hurt them. Only if there's maybe a heavy cosmetics or wax work that we've done, am I a little deterrent and I try to keep them from manhandling, I guess, as much. Hello in Florida. Any advice for a future embalmer? Try and shadow as much as you possibly can and learn from more than one person. You're going to pick up tips and tricks that are good and bad, things that you like and things you don't like from the more people that you embalm with. So more exposure, bigger funeral home, more difficult cases is going to get you a lot more experience. I recently had a friend pass and the family invited me for one goodbye before the cremation. Thanks to you, I knew what to expect as far as the body would be presented. Thank you, Tony. That's awesome. Yeah, so Zane, hi, Kari. Have you seen the video of the forensic dentist who has perfected a way to rehydrate the badly dried out bodies? His name is Dr. Alejandro Hernandez Cardenas. If it's the one I'm thinking, then yes, it's like the one that they show in the video is he was kind of a homeless guy, didn't have a lot of connection, and he'd been in storage for a while, and they brought him back out, rehydrated him, took pictures, and found his family. Is that the one you're talking about? I don't know if that's the same guy, but I saw a video about that. It's been maybe 2 years ago at this point, but it was super interesting. Also in Michigan, do you have to jump through hoops to disinter cremated remains, or is it super simple like here? Well, cremated remains are not a deceased. So I have never actually disinterred cremated remains. I don't think ever, but I don't think I would need even a permit to do it, possibly just paperwork signed by the family. I'll have to see what the cemetery would require. Which mouth closure method is strongest? So they all run the risk of possibly breaking. I find that needle injector can pop out of the bone. If you try and just use the tendons, those can rip and give way. However, when you suture and you lock it around the jaw and up through the septum, it's bone. That's not going to give way. To me, that's the strongest method, but it just depends who you ask. You're going to get a lot of opinion on that. What about the Beer with the Boys series? Will you ever get a Gin with the Girls episode featuring you, the Grave Woman, and Little Miss Funeral? We do have our Wine About Funerals series that we drink wine and chat. So we do kind of have that, not with gin. I can start a gin series. Got a little gnat in here. Start a gin series. Well, who should I could bring in another person and do gin with. Gin with who? Who should I do gin with? I don't know. Final questions about shoes. How would you keep high heels on the deceased feet? It seems like it would be difficult for them to stay on properly. Well, Ron, it's great because you don't often put high heels on and they don't often get shown. I think Aretha Franklin is a clear example of somebody laid out with a full couch casket where their high-heeled shoes are showing. Very iconic photos from her funeral with her feet kind of crossed with these high heels. You know, they just stay on. As long as you don't touch them, once they're in position, they're not going anywhere. Some people may use a little tape inside. Just different tips and tricks. Me and Caitlin for Gin and Girls. I don't know if Kaylin drinks gin. Can you bury two people in the same grave space? Yes, Celia, I just did a video about this. Gin with Brian and Ryan. Well, I do have beer with Brian and Ryan once in a while. They'll drink anything, I think, if we wanted to for our discussions. I told them after our last shooting of the crime victims, because those are really weighty when you're talking about that stuff. It brings back memories for all of us and cases we've worked. It's pretty weighty. So I said we need, the next time we film, it needs to be back with Beer with the Boys, discussing something a little lighthearted, something we can maybe laugh at a little bit at ourselves or something, because we need that after those victims of crime. What do you do if a body comes in the funeral? I don't know what you mean by that. You're welcome, Celia. Oh, Lisa, you're so sweet. Thank you. I knew a guy who passed away recently. He weighed over 600 pounds and was cremated. How many hours would it take to complete the cremation? Several. Depends. Everybody kind of does that scenario a little different. Some people will start with a completely cold retort. Some will warm it up a little bit. It just depends. But I would say 3 hours at least for that kind of thing, because you need to go really slow. Really slow is better when it comes to people who are heavier. Folgers coffee. No Folgers coffee. Do I like tequila, Kari? There is some, I'm trying to think of the brand. It's like a bourbon barrel aged tequila. It's really good. I'm not the biggest tequila person. I'll have it like in a margarita, but not really straight per se. Not like El Toro with the little hat thing on it or anything with the worm. I'm out. But you never know. Hey, Janae. Yes, Leo, grease fire. When you're cremating someone who's heavier, their fat acts like grease with the flame, and you can get a very scary situation at the crematory. Have you seen some situations where the person has blown their head off? Do you completely remodel, or is it simply go for a closed casket? It depends what you have to work with and what the family wants, honestly. Can you be buried in your backyard or your property without being embalmed? Yes, and you just need permission from your city, your state, your township, whoever's in charge. You have to get a special permit, and it can take time. So if you think that might be something you want to do, plan ahead, get permission ahead, know that it's a possibility. Otherwise, you've got somebody stuck in a cooler somewhere where you're trying to have board meetings and township meetings and permits and things happening. Is it common practice to use the retort overnight? Some crematories do run 24/7, but it's better for the machine if it can cool down some. It can just overheat. Green Mountain Double. Did somebody ask what the favorite coffee is? Because everybody's like listing coffee flavors or coffee brands and things now. So I feel like I missed somebody asking, hey, what is our coffee flavor? Jack Daniel. I have been enjoying Crown Royal Apple, the apple flavor Crown Royal. I haven't had the peach, which everybody says is good, but have had some whiskey lately, which was new to me. Yeah, El Toro is rot gut. Tea is okay. Tea is decent. Paul, marry me. Thank you for the proposal, but I'll pass right now. Don't want to get married this week, but I'll keep my options open. Had a rapper funeral here. They stood him up and just played his songs. That was the whole funeral. That is interesting. I like all kinds of coffee. Crown Apple Royal is the bomb. Yeah, it's so good. It's got to be super, super cold, though, if you're going to drink it. Super, super, super cold. Tim Hortons coffee is pretty good. That's one of Lauren Little Miss Funeral's favorite things ever. Have you tried the CR Harvest? Is that the maple flavored one? I think it was maple flavored recently. I did not care for it. My favorite coffee. I do like Pete's coffee a lot lately. I've been drinking Green Mountain. I haven't had coffee in the last week-ish. Since last Friday, I haven't had coffee. Trying to like take a break from it because I think you become really too dependent and it's not the best for your system always. So I'm taking a little break, even though I miss it. I miss like the warm comfort of it. I think that you go through things and you go to comfort foods. And to me, comfort comes with coffee and like good creamer and like pumpkin spice or like dark chocolate mocha creamer. And then it's just sugar and calories and it's not good. And when I drink coffee, I want baked goods. Anybody else? Like you just want a freaking muffin when you're drinking coffee. That's my world. Nope, I haven't. Debbie, have not had the harvest or fall harvest. I need to try that out. Can my cremation be witnessed by my immediate family members? It can. They're not actually watching the inside of the retort. They can be there when you go in. They can push the button. They can wait around until afterwards. They're not watching the flame process. It's enclosed inside a machine. So you're not actually watching that. Is it true if I cremated, is there other people's ashes with mine? You will never get 100% of your loved one back. And it more than likely will not ever be 100% of you. There may be a grain of somebody else. The inside of a retort is made out of a porous material. There's little holes, kind of like your driveway. So it's like trying to brush off your driveway and get every little granule of dirt. You just can't do it. So then when the next person is cremated, you're brushing out and you may get flecks of the other person. So there's always some kind of a little commingling, but it's not like a whole cup of somebody else's in there. Does each state require a death notice at minimal? Not an obituary, but a death notice. No. When someone dies, you have to run nothing. There is no legality to you announcing a death at all. Somebody can just die and be gone and nobody else be told about it. Root beer schnapps in hot chocolate. I don't know how we got down this conversation, but yum. That sounds really good. There's supposedly a root beer flavored whiskey from someplace down in Tennessee. They don't ship because I tried to get on their website once and I can't remember the name of the distillery or whatever place now, but it's supposed to be the most amazing whiskey, root beer flavor ever. Have you ever had a family member tell you to take lipstick colors or makeup off a person once they viewed him? Yes, sometimes it's not the right shade or it's more makeup look when the person didn't wear any makeup. Or one thing I've seen is putting nail polish on the deceased and the family's like, they never wore nail polish. Why did you do that? So sometimes we take too many, what is that word? We take too many, not legalities. We just are too bold with what we do maybe. And we can't always be, so we need to ask. Hey, Sugar Magnolia, welcome. You're welcome, Mrs. M. How do you handle a grossly mangled body? Piece by piece. I don't know what else to say there. That's a horrible answer, but just as it is, you have to kind of step back, look at what you're dealing with, and go from there. See what the family wants to do. If they want to have them try to put them back together, if they want to try and do some viewing of some parts of them, you can make it happen. Possibly. It just depends. Hey, Tria. So it just depends what you're dealing with. Liberties. Thank you, guys. I am struggling. When we do these evening ones, sometimes it's like my brain is from the day, and sometimes like trying to find words is really difficult. Yeah, so to repair the retort and redo the inside of it, which is where somebody's cremated, you have to get inside to reline it and stuff. I don't want that job. So kudos to anybody who does that, because that seems like a nightmare. I don't even like when I have to go in the cooler or the, where the bodies are stored and the door shuts on me. Freaks me out. More so though, what freaks me out is if somebody else, if I'm working alongside somebody else and they go in the cooler and the door shuts, it's like an anxiety settles on me for like the 12 seconds that door is shut for them to like grab paperwork and come out or something. I don't know why it's such an anxiety to me. It's worse when somebody else goes in than it is when I go in. Hate it though. Hate it. Hello in Bowling Green, Kentucky. She was run over by a bushing. Susu, what is a bushing? Is it difficult to apply cosmetics? Not really. If you use wax and you have to apply cosmetics over the wax, then that gets a little tricky. Do we dye hair? We can dye hair. We have the family bring the color often though, because we don't want to mess it up. Have I ever had someone go to the bathroom on me? Not on me, but when I embalm, poop or pee comes out. It's natural. Thank you, Lee White. So this will be like Mad Libs version of Coffee with Kari, where I start a sentence and you guys have to throw in like a verb or an adjective or an adverb or something and help me finish out what I'm saying. That would be kind of fun. I'll do the Coffee with Kari Mad Lib one day or something and put it out there for you guys. A bush hog. Oh, gotcha. Oh, that'd be a terrible way to die. Oh yeah, dead bodies. People pass gas. They have bowel movements, everything. Do you use candles in the viewing room? Are they good quality? We don't use candles, but only if it's like a Catholic service and you put out the 2 candles that you set up with the Catholic setup. Can you be buried with your pets? I get this question so much. You have to check with the legality of the cemetery in the state. Do you have a chapel for blessing on the body? There's chapels in the funeral home for the services and such. Can you be buried without being embalmed? Yes, embalming is not a law in any state here. Do you push down on the bladder or bowel to evacuate it? It's done during the aspiration. Can your nose shape change after you have an autopsy? Yeah, you can get dehydration. The gravity of just the face kind of pulling back, things like that could change how a person looks. Have I ever been to Rhode Island? Never. I've been to the UK, Molly. I've been to England and worked there for a couple days. So do y'all videotape everybody? We don't tape any bodies. None. What temperature is the body kept at? So the coolers, legally, we don't freeze bodies. We can't. So they're kept between 35 and 45 degrees. Do we use adult diapers and such? Yes, we use incontinence pads sometimes when some funeral homes put them on every single deceased. We don't put them at several of the places I work. We don't put them on everybody, but when necessary. Why do bodies look so pale and feel extremely hard? Well, they're hard because the body is preserved. The tissue is hardened during the preservation. Drinks with Kari. Yeah, she does look like, I don't see that she looks like me, but people say she does. My good friend died of cancer. I hadn't seen him for a while, but he didn't look like himself. Was that the embalming or is it the cancer? Well, it's what the cancer does to his body. I mean, he's probably emaciated, lost weight, possibly color changes. So that's a lot of what has to do with it is many people are not seen those last 2-3 weeks before death by a lot of people. And you can lose an exceptional amount of weight in those last couple weeks when you're bedridden and not eating, not drinking and things. So that could definitely change things. Hello in Georgia. What time is it? Okay, a couple more questions. My father-in-law's whiskers look longer as the days went on. Is this dehydration making them look longer? Possibly dehydration. The hair doesn't grow after death. It doesn't keep growing. It doesn't happen, but dehydration does make them look a little bit longer. What can happen if an embalmer lets an outsider in the embalming room? I mean, people come into the embalming room, but it's, repair people or plumbers, drain cleaners, things like that. So potentially, people can come in there, but to come in and watch the embalming process, if they're not a student or a licensed embalmer, they shouldn't be in there. Hey, JB Cool, thank you. Have I ever had to advise against an open casket? Yes, I've had to. When there was the majority of the facial tissue is gone, then I did advise against it. Do I remove the tongue? No, we do not remove the tongue. You do not have to have an autopsy unless you die not under a doctor's care or hospice. So if you're not in a hospital, a nursing home, a hospice center, or at home under hospice care, and the investigators, coroner, medical examiner finds that your death is suspicious in any way, they can require an autopsy. Hey, and Mesa, Stephanie. Have I ever had to do a funeral for conjoined twins? No, that's such a rarity. I was told your nail and hair do grow after death. Am I wrong? They really don't. No, your body dehydrates, but it doesn't grow. It doesn't keep moving out. Organs for sale after you die. So there are places in illegal naughty things, which you'll see in my naughty video coming up, that there's people who will harvest organs and sell them without knowledge, and it's naughty. Sugar Magnolia, I just want to thank you for all your videos. I lost both my parents 10 weeks apart, and listening to you has given me some peace. Thank you. Thanks. I like this color blue. Okay, I'm going to wind down answering questions. Thank you so much, you guys. If you don't subscribe, click subscribe. Let's see how many subscribers I can get today. If you like my channel, like Sugar Magnolia, and you find some peace and you've gotten something out of it, somebody else will too. Share my channel with people. Send it, put it on social media. It helps. Let's see if we can get some more subscribers and boost it up. I like to just have knowledge in people's hands. It's not about me getting whatever. It's about knowledge, and it's about power, and it's about helping people find maybe an answer they've been looking for forever. So make sure you do that. I have been getting some people sending me money through PayPal for the casket. So the fiddlehead casket kit, where you build a bookshelf and then it transforms into a casket. That's going to be coming up. I'm going to be ordering that soon. If you want to donate to that, you're welcome to. You send it right to my email through PayPal. It's so fun. I can't wait to do this and put that together. We talked about that in last week's live video. It should be super fun. And then in any live video during this month of October, you can do the, what's it called? The show your support for Kari the Mortician in this live chat. You click the little money thing and I don't know. I'm going to order it regardless. But if you want to contribute to it, that'd be great too, because I don't want them to cut me a deal. I want to pay these small company, awesome woodworking people for the work they're doing. So can't wait to do that. Yes, Fiddlehead Casket Company. So great. Pull up their website and check them out. They're way up in Nova Scotia and Canada. And so I've got to get this thing to my house to put together. And I think you guys voted you want me to do it in a live video. We'll see. It could be interesting. There might be a lot of whiskey, gin, wine, and vodka and all of that while I'm trying to put this thing together, because I'm not the handiest, but it could be interesting. So, well, I thank you guys so much, and I will check you on the next video. If you have questions specifically you want me to answer, send them in an email. That is the most effective way for me to get your questions. I print out those emails and I have them for the next live video. Make sure you do that. So thanks. Share the page. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.